and the INEC results viewing portal IREV was widely seen as an important step to ensure the integrity and credibility of the elections, but lack of transparency before the polls, and notably the severely delayed display of presidential result forms on the 25th of February, for which INEC failed to give a timely and comprehensive explanation, dashed the public trust in election technologies and in INEC. For both elections, INEC did not publish key relevant information, hampering transparency throughout the collation processes and the declaration of election results. For example, INEC failed to publish the manner of calculation of the declared winners, turnouts, number of accredited voters, and the list of polling units where elections were cancelled, postponed, or not held. The absence of this information undermined the possibility for independent verification of the outcome and public trust. We consider it vital, and this is our final priority recommendation, to protect the free expression of the will of the voter and integrity of elections by establishing a robust, transparent, and easily verifiable results processing system with clear rules. These include uploading polling unit results from the polling unit only and in real time. At each level of collation, results forms to be uploaded in real time, and all forms to be published in an easily trackable and scrapable database format.
I've commended the Commission for the introduction of the BVAS for purposes of voter accreditation. In terms of voter accreditation, nobody has faulted the functionality of the BVAS in all the elections we conducted. The only challenge this Commission has had is the issue of result upload for presidential election only. And I believe that it is not fair to judge the entire performance of the Commission on the basis of glitch in result upload for the presidential election. But we must also recognize the fact that the law itself has also given the political parties the opportunity to know what goes on at each polling unit. Almost all the political parties, or at least 5 of the political parties, nominated and got accredited over 170,000 polling agents. So what that means is that they had primary evidence of the results from the polling units. And it is those results from the polling units, together with the BVAS as a machine itself, that goes to the collation center. So it is not true, and it cannot be correct for a political party to rely only on result upload in order to get the evidence with which he wants to prosecute.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria that was held on February 25, 2023. When I heard that the European Union Observer Mission, that they have compiled their reports on the outcome of the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria, what they observed, I was curious to know what they have to say. But I was also concerned when I found out that they have gone to INEC to present the report, which initially gave the impression as if the report they have could have been watered down for them to have gone to INEC. But the reports which they were able to present to the public and was read out by the leader of the group, Barry Andrew, who is the chief observer of the European Union. The report he read was very damning to the Independent National Electoral Commission in their conduct of the election. That is what we are to talk about in this video. And if you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria has been adjudged one of the worst ever to have been conducted in Nigeria and in anywhere for that matter. and the European Union, they were among the foreign organizations that even helped in sponsoring the election. Don't forget that the European Union, they supported the election of 2023 financially and otherwise. Now, the observer mission have now submitted a report on what they found out in the election. And like I said earlier on, it was damning on INEC. And even the INEC response was too watery. And you saw the video, you have seen the video, but we're going to look at some of the issues they raised, fundamental issues they raised, which has continued to dog the election, including even the election of Aswad Bola Tinubu as the president. Because the things they said are germane, and I hope that those in the tribunal that will take note of some of the points these people itemize as the flaws of the election. Now, the chief observer, Barry Andrew, who read the reports, excerpts of the reports, did note. He said that the INEC viewing portal, the IREV, was widely seen as an important step to ensure integrity and credibility of the election. So they understand that portal is to ensure integrity and credibility of the electoral process. They understand that very well. Okay? So it means that if INEC didn't follow this process, it means that INEC undermined the integrity and the credibility of the process. So that is what they are saying here, that the INEC viewing portal was to ensure integrity and credibility of the election. So we're now going to find out, did INEC stand by that integrity and credibility of the election in their own work, which they did on the election day? Now, from what the European Union Observer Mission was saying in their report, they said, but lack of transparency before the poll, and notably the severe delayed display of the presidential election on February 25, for which INEC failed to give a timely and comprehensive explanation. Many of us are aware that INEC found it very difficult to explain to Nigerians what happened on the election day when people were struggling to transmit the presidential election result. Don't forget that on February 25, people were able to transmit senatorial and House of Representative election results, but they could not transmit the presidential election result. Now, the European Union was saying that this severe delay in the transmission of this result dashed the hopes and the expectations of Nigeria, and that many Nigerians lost confidence in technology, which INEC earlier on hammered as one of the processes that it will use to conduct a very transparent election. So here was a damning report against INEC. It was a damning because INEC tried to play down the significance of this transmission, which is already a bone of contention at the Election Petition Tribunal. And again, look at what the European Union observed. He said, for both elections, INEC did not publish relevant information. It did not publish relevant information, the calculations with which it arrived at those who won the election. For example, now there are those who are debating, including the Labour Party and the PDP, that they could not see the calculation with which the presidential election result was calculated and the outcome came out for Tinubu to have won the election. So this is what the European Union were saying, that there were no transparency. They didn't show how they calculated it. How did they come about to the report with which they announced winner? And they said that this is not even restricted to they were saying in all the elections, both the election that took place on February 25 and the one that took place on March 18th. So this is a very damning report against INEC. And I'm sure this is going to help even those who are challenging the outcome of the election. Even though we know that the courts, the PDP and the Labour Party, they have closed their cases already. But at least this gives an indication of some of the things they were arguing. The lack of transparency on how Aswad Bola Tinubu emerged the winner. This is what the things this European Union are talking about in this their report. Okay, and I can tell you for free that many of the mainstream media in Nigeria are not going to talk about this, but this is basically what it is. This is the main meat of the European Union report. Like, look at the example that the European Union observers gave. They said, for example, INEC failed to publish the manner of calculations of its declared winners, number of accredited voters, and list of polling units where elections were cancelled, postponed, or not held. And you know that even on March 1st, when Professor Mahmoud Yakubu announced the winner of the presidential election, people like Dino Melaye, who was one of the national agents of the PDP, was complaining about this same thing that the European Union wrote here. Because there were no transparency. How did you arrive at the figures? And Mahmoud Yakubu that day, I could recall very well, said that they will look at whatever issues that the PDP and others were having about what was going on at the National Collation Center, at the International Conference Center. That after they will look into it, but they never looked into it. But what they did was to announce the results late in the night, when most Nigerians were asleep. They announced the Aswad Bola Tinubu as the winner. Now, the European Union are saying the absence of this information undermines the possibility of independent verification. Now, what the European Union were saying is this: the processes that INEC used in arriving at who won the election was not transparent. So even if you want to say, okay, let us check the processes, whether it is true, so that there can be an independent verification, you cannot do it because the processes that INEC used was so opaque, not transparent at all. So this is a very damning report on INEC. And you can understand that INEC, they're not going to feel very comfortable with this assessment. They're not going to feel comfortable at all. And you can see it from the response of the INEC, because INEC spokesperson was there when they unveiled this report to Nigerian public. Festus Okoye, he was there, and you saw his response in the video you watched. A very word-throwing response. And I'm going to tell you some things about some of the things he said. So that's disregard for the due processes. And if you're listening to the European Union observers, they said that what they were following in assessing INEC was INEC's own guideline, the guideline that INEC made for itself, that they as foreigners, they are not the ones to dictate how Nigeria runs its election, but they were following the process, what INEC said it would do. is what they followed. And their main purpose is basically to ensure that INEC follow the processes. And in any case, it was Nigeria that invited them to come and observe. Now, you now look at the implication of this. The implication of this is that, one, it has bolstered the fact that the Labour Party and others were indeed right in saying that the process that brought the outcome, the winner of the election, was not transparent. And if it was not transparent, what can the court do about it? Do we accept it the way it is, or say, okay, let there be a review? What will be the outcome? But the fact of the matter remains that this report by the European Union collaborates what Labour Party and the PDP have been arguing in the courts about the processes that led to the emergence of the president of Nigeria. And the EU is saying that even this one is not only because the European Union is saying that there was opacity on how people emerge winners, both in the February 25 and March 18th elections. This is really a bombshell against INEC. Now, but let us look at the INEC defense. Festus Okoye, in his defense, was saying that the beavers work very well in accreditation of voters, that nobody is challenging the capacity of the beavers to perform. He said that the election they did very well, that the only place they did badly was in the transmission of presidential election results. And they now say that it was wrong. It is wrong to use what happened in the presidential election transmission of results to judge the whole election. But that's where he lost it. The presidential election is the most important of all the elections. The other elections are basically, they are important, but they are not as consequential as the presidential election. So by messing up the presidential election, they messed up the whole process. That is a fact. Because the president of Nigeria is the only office in which all Nigerians, the vote of all Nigerians, determine who sits at the Aso Rock Villa. Today, Godswill Akpabio has been elected the Senate president. But I can tell you for free that the man in Sokoto doesn't give a damn about how Godswill Akpabio emerged as a senator from Akwa Ibom North or South. The man in Bauchi doesn't give a damn about how the senator or House of Reps member emerged from Imo State or from Akwa Ibom State or from Cross River State. It means nothing to him. But who becomes the president of Nigeria is of concern to all Nigerians. It is the most important of all the elections. So if for INEC to think that other elections can be equated with the presidential election to the level that it doesn't really matter, even if there were mistakes in the presidential election, it is not enough to condemn all the elections. Perhaps he was not aware that the annulment of the June 12th presidential election was the reason why that dispensation collapsed, despite the fact there were senators and others that were elected within the period. So what the defense of Festus Okoye is really what makes no sense, because the presidency of Nigeria is the most important of all the elections. In fact, they ought to have paid their attention for the presidential election to be transmitted. Let it be that there were challenges in transmitting the senatorial and House of Reps. But we know that technology don't lie. And a recent report, especially coming out from the courts, appears to indicate that there was an internal sabotage allegedly, inside INEC and not from any external attack. So the presidential election is far more important because they messed up the presidential election. The whole election appeared messed up. That is the truth. So it is a very consequential error on the part of INEC to think that people can equate presidential election with all the other elections that were held. Because the president of Nigeria, let me tell you for free, is the most powerful of all the presidents of the world. So whoever is to be there has to be well vetted, has to be the choice of Nigerians. So that when Nigerians are suffering, they will know that it is the president they put there that is making them to suffer. If Nigeria is good, they will know that, yes, they made the right choice by the president they chose to run the country. So choosing the president of Nigeria is a very important and most important of all the jobs of INEC. So INEC defends that they got it right in other elections. Even if they didn't get it right in the presidential election, it shouldn't be an issue to condemn the whole process. No, this is enough to condemn the whole process. It was because of the way it was presidential election outcome in 1993 that made the military to annul the election of 1992. For whatever reason, we know that in that election, Abiola was poised to win. It therefore means that despite the fact that there were House of Reps election, senatorial election, governorship election, and what have you, before it got to the level of presidential election. Because the presidential election was sabotaged in 1993, the whole system collapsed. So the presidential election is key. INEC failed woefully in that because they had assured Nigerians that the system will work, that technology will work. And the Buhari himself, who conducted the election, said that if not for technology, that he would not have won in 2015. In 2023, when he conducted the election, technology, they failed. And it has been established now that technology did not fail because of an act of God, but it failed as an act of man. That is the fact. So INEC's defense is no defense. They have failed woefully. The important thing is for the courts and others to recognize this fact, that INEC failed, that the presidential election results with which they declared a winner cannot stand test of scrutiny, because European Union have shown that nobody can say how they arrive at the data, the calculation they use in picking a winner. So you cannot even independently verify it. What are you verifying with? That's what European Union were saying. That is the summary of it. And we hope that Nigerian government, the judiciary, will take note of this report and do justice to those who were cheated in the election as a result of the failure of INEC, deliberate or otherwise, in the conduct of the election. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.